Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Max Reviews. And last time I reviewed the Batman spin-offs and then the Dark Knight trilogy. And today I am going to be reviewing the original 4 Batman movies, which I had not previously seen before this. Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. I was really confused by these movies originally when I was checking them out with the actors and everything, because it seemed like 3 different guys played Batman, different directors, and I was even considering, are they the same sort of Batman thing? And I guess they are. So today I'm going to be talking about them. I'm Braden. This is Max Reviews. Welcome, everybody. And I had not seen these. I'd heard about these a few times. I was confused by it a bit. And so to start us off here, we have Batman 89. This was the original. And for these Batman movies, I heard some people loved them. Some people hated certain ones. And so I hear a bunch of people, they like the original Batman movies. So for actors playing Batman, you have Michael Keaton in these first 2, who I'd only seen as the Vulture before this. So it was really cool to see him as a younger guy doing this. And you also have Tim Burton directing. Well, I don't know if I've seen him do a whole bunch more stuff, but just the original. So it does seem like the original for this movie. The Batman seems very classic. He saves a girl during the movie. Villain is Joker, which when you think of Batman, you think of Joker, so that works as the original. The feel of Gotham is really great for having this sort of lived-in city. And then you also have this original version of Alfred, sort of. It just seems very classic, it's known as one of the first 2 superhero movies, one of the first few superhero movies. So, I think it still is a really good movie. Joker in this movie is really good. I like Joker in this movie. I'd call him really good. Yeah, he's really good. Batman, Michael Keaton, I actually liked Batman quite a bit in here. The whole story with Joker trying to take over anything, I just think that was fine. Joker's plan to just turn everybody with this gas and kill them, I thought that was fine. But what happened was I was just having a fun time watching Joker on screen. He's such a fun person to see on screen in this movie. And Batman, I really do like Batman in this movie. Michael Keaton Batman, I hadn't seen any Batman before. People were getting really excited for this Flash movie that's coming out this year that's going to have the original Batman in it, and I had not seen it. So now I've seen it, and I can understand where that nostalgia is coming from. And so this movie, I did actually really enjoy quite a bit. The action scenes, I think they're pretty good. The Batman suit just looks so classic. The Batmobile, really cool. And then just this seems like a very pretty straightforward sort of Batman story. It doesn't have an real big origin story for Batman, and it doesn't have the retired Batman. This is just a regular classic Batman doing his thing. We've gotten Batman Begins and seen him before. We got the new Batman movie, which is going to be him at 2 years, which I have not seen yet. Going to try to see it as soon as I can. There'll be a review for it as soon as I see it, okay, just so everybody knows. And then you also have the Batman from Batman v Superman, who's sort of been doing this forever, and it's just done, and he's just sort of gone to the more violent side. But this is just the classic version of Batman, and I like that. You get the classic original older version of Joker, which is a big improvement of the Joker from Batman 66. And I just had a fun time watching this movie. It was better than I thought it would be. And so that's everything positive I got to say. If I had to go into the negative here, it is pretty easy to see this movie as episodes. Stuff doesn't 100% connect in this movie. Joker does one thing, okay, and then we go to something else. Joker's doing this other thing now. We go over to Batman. Batman's doing something, and Joker's doing something else that has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the movie. So just when something happens, it doesn't really overlap. Joker doesn't have this plan from the beginning to turn the city into all smiling people and kill them with smoke bombs. No, but it doesn't really flow as well. It seems like chunk of something. Okay, let's change to a different chunk of something. Change to a different chunk of something. And they don't really come together in the end. It just seems like episodes is how I would describe it. Just a half an hour episode of this, half an hour episode of this, and the episodes don't have anything to do with each other. Except for that they have the same characters in them. So that's just weird. That's the best way that I could describe it. If you guys don't understand what I'm saying, sorry, but it's just little chunks of each thing. Another problem that I noticed with these first two Batman movies, this one in particular, the movie isn't interested in Batman. I guess the director, Tim Burton, isn't interested in him. Like, the entire movie, this is the original Batman movie. Well, except for Batman 66, which I don't really consider the original. This is more like the original. And Batman isn't like the main character. Joker. We're following Joker's origin story, how Joker becomes Joker. We do see Batman, he kills Joker out of revenge because Joker killed his parents. And that's sort of the thing with Batman. He doesn't really have a character arc, Batman doesn't, which is weird. Because it's the original Batman movie, and Batman doesn't have a character arc. Bruce Wayne doesn't really have a character arc. I like Batman whenever he's on screen. But Joker is more like the main character. He gets more screen time in this movie than Batman, it seems. And Batman shows up. We have this whole thing with Joker for like a half an hour. Then Batman shows up again in the beginning of his own movie. So that's just really weird. Another thing that I do want to mention for these movies here is it seems every single movie, Batman has a new love interest. It's sort of like episodes of a TV show, sort of, where one episode they lived happily ever. Oh, next episode. Oh, no, I don't know who that person is. I guess the person in the first movie was Vicky. And it's just weird that every single movie has a new love interest for Batman or Robin. It's just weird. So, the original movie, classic, cool. I do not think that I liked it as much as a bunch of people do. It's good. It's the original. I like it. I think I would give it 8.5 out of 10. And then I think I'd give it a B+. So, it's fine. It's the original. I think it's the best out of these four movies. So these movies weren't as good as I was sort of expecting. I was considering, like, how invested am I into the Batman movies that I'm gonna get these, check them out and everything. And I checked them out and I'm like, okay, they were fine. And next we have Batman Returns. This movie sort of surprised me. These movies, I had no idea. I didn't even really know which order they were in, but I had no idea about them or who was in what or anything. But Batman Returns. So you could basically tell by the beginning of this movie what kind of movie it's going to be. Instead of starting with, like, Batman, it starts with these two parents having a kid and then trying to murder him by throwing him in the sewer. And then he gets met by penguins. That's the opening of this Batman Returns movie. Not Batman. Penguin being thrown away as a child by his parents. So, this movie was also directed by Tim Burton and also had Michael Keaton as Batman. But it doesn't really feel like a Batman movie once again. It feels like a Weirdos movie because you have Catwoman, Penguin, and Batman as weirdos. So, if I had to go into the positive for this movie, I actually liked Penguin and Catwoman and Batman in this movie. I like the characters. So at first, let's just go into Batman. Batman doesn't show up for quite a while. Once again, he shows up like in the beginning scene, and then after the Penguin thing, he shows up, fights guys along with Penguin. Penguin's there. And then he sort of disappears for a while and shows up again. Batman, once again, is not being really that explored in this movie. But I still like Michael Keaton, maybe even more. Nah, probably not as much. But I still like Michael Keaton in this movie. He's really good as Batman. He has this sort of romance going on. I like the chemistry, some of the just shots in the movie have a distinct sort of style to them that I liked. with just Bruce Wayne seeing the bat signal. Just the look of that, it's really cool. Um, the fights I think are probably even better. They're probably some of the best fights in this entire 4-movie whatever this is weird thing. Some of the best fights, really like it. The vibe of the film is much darker, and I like that. It's a different sort of Batman thing. Batman, still, I like Batman. I like sort of the different direction. And then next, going into Penguin, who this movie is sort of centered around. You have him being he's raised by penguins, and this is a very different version of Penguin than Penguin in the comics, as he's a penguin that is short, has a big nose, and likes to bite people's nose and eat fish. Very different Penguin than in the comics. And I think Danny DeVito playing Penguin in this movie is the right choice for this version of Penguin. He plays this version of Penguin to perfection. And I think Penguin's fine in this movie. I would say he's good, actually. His little quirks that he has with the umbrellas and having the penguins, he, like, controls penguins with missile launchers sort of thing, and just his umbrellas, trying to run for mayor, getting accepted by society. I think Penguin's cool in this movie. And then Catwoman, it sort of was weird at first. I'm like, she got raised by cats because she got sort of killed and then raised by cats and just had this breakdown and then turns into Catwoman. So after rethinking it, I think it works pretty well. When I first watch it, I'm like, what's going on? She got her powers from cats assembling around her. What is this, cats? But no, I thought Catwoman in this movie was actually really good. Where you have this great performance because I think she's the best Catwoman that I've seen. I've only seen 2, but Dark Knight Rises Catwoman and this Catwoman, I think she's the best. One, she is a very good Catwoman. She can play the actual person and then the actual Catwoman. So that's nice. And just, it is, the final shot of the movie is with Catwoman in it because they were going to have a Catwoman movie. But they did make a Catwoman movie, just not with this Catwoman, which was really, I heard it was one of the worst superhero movies ever made. So, yeah. So that's the positive for this movie. I like the characters. I like the darker nature. It's got the most blood, I would say, in any Batman movie, which is, it's darker. They made a lot more, like, sexual references. A lot more dark references and stuff than the other Batman movies. And that's what what happened with the next movie is they kicked off the director, Tim Burton, because he was getting too dark and told this new guy, Joel Schumacher, to do something different, make it a bit more lighthearted. And so, going into the negative here, once again, we have a movie that's titled Batman that isn't really interested in Batman or about Batman. Batman has no character arc. Catwoman, Penguin, they get origin stories. Batman doesn't really have a whole bunch to do in this movie. He's sort of battling for Wayne Enterprises, working this thing out, but that doesn't really go so well, I don't think. It doesn't work as well, just no. And Batman doesn't really do anything. He has this romantic relationship with Catwoman, which I think it could be really fun at times when the bat signal comes on and they both are like, oh, we gotta leave. And he leaves one way, she goes the other way, and Catwoman and Batman show up, and they fight each other. I thought that was nice. But also, this is more like Tim Burton's movie about just weird people. It's about Penguin, really weird. Catwoman, really weird. Batman, really weird. It's about these 3 weird people instead of just Batman, which is just so different and weird for a Batman movie that I sort of enjoyed it, but it was also just, I don't think this works as a really good Batman movie. But I still enjoyed it enough. I would give it an 8 out of 10 and probably a B. Okay, it was fine. Okay, I don't really think this is a great Batman movie, but it was fine. And then next we have Batman Forever. So this got a different director, Joel Schumacher, who, if you look even at the picture, he looks like a pretty chill dude. And this came out in the 90s. And they got this Val Edward Kilmer. I'll just call him Val. No, Kilmer. Okay, from Michael Keaton to Val Kilmer for the person that plays Batman. And I guess they offered Michael Keaton $15 million to play Batman, and after reading the script, he turned it down. Michael Keaton, I think, made a pretty good decision because this script is pretty messed up. So, Batman Forever, I don't like it that much. But I'm just going to say the positives. Positives? I do like Jim Carrey as the Riddler. He's a really funny, this was the 90s, hopped up on just whatever he was on, just energy, drinking energy drinks, just sugar invested, having so much soda, caffeine, insane Jim Carrey playing the Riddler that you just gotta smile when you see him just going insane, playing this over-the-top, goofy, wacky character. And I don't really like his origin story or anything, but when you just get this insane Riddler, I have a ton of fun with it. I sort of even forgot his origin story. It was so funny just to see this older classic version of Jim Carrey just on this hot streak with Dumber and Dumber and The Mask and this, and just this insane Jim Carrey. That was just so fun to see. And then beyond that, when you have like the Two-Face, I don't think he really mixes that well into this movie. Batman in this movie does have a character arc, believe it or not. This movie is sort of interested in Batman. How? That's insane. Whoa. Yeah, so anyway, he's going out with this, I actually sort of lost track, but he's going out with some girl. And so that's sort of sidelined, which I like, but he has this character arc. Well, he's going out with this, what is she? She's some sort of psychiatrist. I have no idea. I lost track of all Batman's girlfriends. But, oh yeah, she's the horny. Ah. Oh, I figured out who it was. It's the horny, over-the-top, just, I love you, Batman, like, teenage version of girl. She's a reporter, I guess, that just loves Batman and wants him to come in bed with her and stuff. And then she also is like, nope, I want Bruce Wayne. And so that's sort of cool, I guess. But she just doesn't work in the movie at all. I would say my least favorite Batman girlfriend, because that did not work. Catwoman's the best. And then Vicky, and then the person from Batman and Robin. So, Batman, Val, what's his name? Val Kilmer as Batman. No, I don't really like him that much. People heavily criticize this movie for having the bat nipples on the suit, which that's just hilarious to me. In this movie that they did this, they did it in 2 movies. But this movie, I think it's a sort of blend. You have your sort of more serious story where Batman is just having a breakdown, Bruce Wayne's having a breakdown, and just seeing all this stuff and a giant bat coming towards him, and it's so serious with him trying to just having this breakdown, trying to be Batman. You just have this serious side of Batman with him growing and just considering, like, should I still become Batman? Should I continue to be Batman? Am I even helping anybody? Some deep, really good stuff. And then you have Batman with bat nipples, and you have a circus, and Two-Face and Riddler just doing insane Riddlers, over the top, campy. It's frustrating. Like, the greatest thing that I don't know if I could get the clip, but Batman, the first scene of the movie, Batman, super cool intro. He's just coming in. You get Batman's suit up. He's got the bat nipples, but whatever. Who cares? Just campy, but still. So, suits up, getting in the Batmobile, and Alfred's like, should I get you a sandwich? And he's like, I'll get drive-through. And that's the first scene in the movie. Welcome, everybody. Batman's getting drive-through.
you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll get drive-through.
So, this movie, you have the campy side, which sometimes it could just be funny. And then other times it just 100% does not work. But there's also the serious underside to it. And you also have Robin in this movie, where his family gets killed by Two-Face. And so this 25-year-old Robin kid is moving in, being adopted by Bruce Wayne. I think Robin has never been good in a live-action movie ever before. He's great in Lego Batman movie because it's Lego, and it isn't that insane. He's good in like the comics, I guess, and maybe if you had him in an animated movie, he'd be good. But in live action, Dark Knight Rises Robin, I do not like. This Robin, I do not like. It just doesn't make sense that this 25-year-old kid is moving in with Bruce Wayne. It's not logical. But I guess he's just, whatever. Because you have him fight at the end, fight Two-Face and Riddler. He's sort of there. So this was a campier version of Batman. It's slowly going down, but yeah, this is gonna get a 7.5 from me, and I would still give this, I'd give this a B-. Like, this isn't, I don't hate this movie. There's some fun sides to it. But still, it's like, sort of version of Batman. I heard a bunch of people absolutely hate this movie. Don't hate this movie. Come on. It doesn't deserve your hate. This next movie does deserve your hate. Next, also directed by Joel Schumacher, with George Clooney, who does not seem like a good version of Batman. But we have Batman and Robin, the Batman movie that killed Batman for 8 years. So this is the movie that everybody says is just the worst Batman movie ever. Horrible, absolute trash. One of the worst superhero movies ever made. And I'm going to have to agree with you people. This is a horrible movie. So you have George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the weird thing with these movies is the only way to tell that these 4 movies are connected is Alfred. Alfred is the only similar thing in these movies. The Batman, the Batcave, the Bat suits, they're not the same. Even Robin, he was only introduced in Batman Forever. So Alfred is the one thing that decides, since he's been in all 4 of these movies, nothing else has been in these movies. So it's just so weird when you have 3 Batmans, like 2 different versions of Gotham, like 3 Batmobiles, and just so many different Batman suits. And then you get just Alfred is the only thing going. And so like, Alfred, man, you got to be stressed out. Be 3 different Batmans. Come on. So this is, I don't know what happened with our friend Val, but I like George Clooney as an actor. I think he's great in the Ocean's movies. I like him in other movies that he's in. He's good. Is he a good Batman? I do not think he's that great of a Batman. He's about as good as Val, maybe a bit better. But he's a bit charming at times, but also like Batman and Robin. I'm gonna have to go with positive. Let me go. I think Mr. Freeze has a slightly interesting story with his wife that if it had been fleshed out, it could have been better. He looks cool. Arnold Schwarzenegger does an okay job. And let me think what else is good in this movie. Yeah, if I had yeah, that's it. That's the only thing that's good. Maybe Mr. Freeze a bit. Oh, and George Clooney is a bit charming in this movie. He's got a few nice lines. Okay, bad stuff. You have more bat nipples on every single Batman costume in this movie, which is horrible. The Batmobile just looks like a giant toy car that got expanded. It's not memorable. It's trash. Villains? Mr. Freeze. He's ice. Ice puns. He used every single pun imaginable in this movie. He tried to give it some weight because the wife thing, that could have worked if it been done better. And then, but the ice puns, at least he tried. But I guess At least he didn't get cold feet. Okay, yeah, I have heard way too many ice puns. Ah, yikes. Poison Ivy in this movie is absolute trash. Absolutely hate her. Every single scene is just bad. Bane in this movie, Bane. This is one of the worst villains I've ever seen in a movie. Okay, the like comic book adaptations, whatever you want to say. Even comparing him as just a henchman, he's horrible. This is just, they took Bane. Just Bane. Ugh. I do not like this Bane. Not good at all. And then Batman has a few charming moments, but usually like over the top, way too cheesy. Like first line in the movie, Robin's like, I want a car. Chicks dig a car. That's the first line in this movie. Like, come on. Way too cheesy. Batman buys Poison Ivy for a credit card for $7 million. That is just like bidding Robin for Poison Ivy at some sort of bidding thing for you get to take her home for the night. $7 million. He's like, $7 million. Always have it on me. Don't leave home without it. Just come on. No, horrible. What else is there? There's just like one slight love interest for Batman that does not work at all. She has you don't even know her name. So, not as bad as Batman Forever or horny, like, whatever detective person, but still not that great. Yikes, this movie just takes everything. There's Batgirl in this movie, who Batgirl is not good at all. She's like, Alfred's niece, and so Alfred's niece becomes Batgirl. She has like this thing where she rides a motorcycle. Robin sort of likes her, I guess. Robin in this movie, he's a jerk the entire movie. I hate him so much. Batman, slightly charming. Robin has no charm. Batgirl has no charm. And also, Mr. Freeze's wife is dying from some extremely rare disease. Guess what? Alfred's got it too. And guess what? Mr. Freeze gives him the cure by the end of the movie. How is this possible? Yikes. I punched the mic. Sorry, man, I haven't seen a movie this bad for a while. Brazen, that was horrible. And then also Ice Age, Adventures of Wild Buck. So, I haven't seen that many bad movies. I've been fortunate. And then I had to watch Batman and Robin. What a horrible movie. Bat suits, even worse. Like the final 3 Robin suits, Batgirl suits, and Batman suits just does not work. There's so many stupid moments in this movie. I really do not like it. And this is what drove Batman into the ground for 8 years until we got the best Batman thing ever, the Dark Knight trilogy. So, yeah, this movie sort of did it. And what would I give it? I would give this movie a D- and a 2 out of 10. No, a 2 out of 10, yes. A 2 out of 10. So, it's a horrible movie. Oh, another thing, Batman and Robin have ice skates in their boots. Come on, why? I'm just getting myself angry about this. But overall, this is a weird, like, 4-part thing that I do not think is that amazing as a Batman thing. I prefer the Dark Knight trilogy. I prefer the Batman that we got in Zack Snyder's Justice League and Batman v Superman. But still, it was fine. At least I finally saw him, and I'll be able to understand Flash movie that's coming out. So, I thought it was... yeah, that's about my thoughts on it. Leave your comments down below what you thought about it. Like, subscribe to Max Reviews. Don't worry, I'm going to be seeing the Batman soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Brayden. This is Max Reviews. Brayden out.